Welcome to VidZet. I'm Dr. Ted Noel. This is a video I never expected to make because, frankly, I'm not an expert in video production. There was, however, an interesting event in video production that occurred right after the debate. On Hillary's campaign plane, NBC News recorded a few questions and answers with Hillary. Midway through that sequence, there was a flash in her right eye. A lot of people said, "What is this?" And I initially thought that it was an example of her eye crossing. But it turned out, as I looked closer, that it appeared to be an optical illusion. So in my video on optical illusions, I called it that. Then I was told by a professional video producer that no, that's not an optical illusion. This is a bad edit. He went on to describe that this is a chroma key error. Chroma keys are ways of combining two pictures. The most common thing that we see is when we look at the evening weather report. The weatherman is actually in front of a green or a blue screen, which is the chroma key. And he makes all of his motions looking at a monitor which combines his motions with projected maps and so on. That way they get a very clean picture and everything works fine, except
when you're working with the weather, it should pretty much be rule number one to make sure what you wear doesn't clash with the green screen. This means no green or even blue of any shade. Liberty Chan of Los Angeles' KTLA discovered this in spectacular fashion one day. As you can see, the pattern on her dress also picked up on the green screen image, making for a rather psychedelic display.
Now let's look at the video from the plane. First, the video in real time.
And the way he answered the question about gender, do you think women would react to that?
Well, I think...
Next, we're going to slow it down. But remember, we have not photoshopped it in any way. This is what NBC put on the air. Pay very close attention to the areas with the yellow arrows.
Do you think...
The obvious thing here is that Hillary's right eye changes color, but notice a couple of other things that go on. Her signs suddenly get all goofy. The letters aren't sharp anymore. If you look on the overhead bin between Hillary and the dark-haired gentleman to the right, you see all of a sudden a smudge appears. And then if you look above her hair, there's a wisp of hair that isn't part of her hair that's suddenly there. And then the photographer on the left has a weird smudge on his shirt. None of these were present 3 or 4 seconds before, and none of them are present within 2 seconds afterwards. These aren't part of the original shot. 3 frames after the frame we froze and examined carefully, all of these weird effects are gone. What happened? There's only one reasonable explanation for what went on. The NBC film crew spotted crossed eyes in the video. They couldn't let that go out. They had to protect Hillary. So what they did was to do a very quick chroma key insert. But they didn't have a blue screen or green screen that would work. Instead, they took a frame which was 2 or 3 frames away from where her eyes crossed and used it as the chroma key to go against. The trouble is, it created all sorts of other telltale evidence that just can't be ignored. Not only did it show the flash in the eye, but it showed the lettering on the signs going bad and all of the other smudges that we've pointed out. And then as soon as she blinks, they take the chroma key off because they know after looking at the video that her eyes are going to come back in normal convergence. Now let's let our video production expert show us what else he saw. There's more going on here than just her eye.
The only person on stage? Well, I'm the only person on stage.
Secretary Clinton, Donald Trump says he actually showed great restraint last night and that he could have gone after you and your husband for personal matters.
The only person on stage? Well, I'm the only person on stage.
Secretary Clinton, Donald Trump says he actually showed great restraint last night and that he could have gone after you and your husband for personal matters.
The only person on stage? Well, I'm the only person on stage.
Donald Trump says he actually showed great restraint last night and that he could have gone after you and your husband for personal matters.
The truth is indeed in plain view, but we probably wouldn't have seen the Parkinson's freeze if NBC News hadn't gone ahead and doctored the video. They couldn't allow her to be seen with eyes that had lost virgins. That can't be allowed because it would point toward Parkinson's disease, and their hero can't have Parkinson's disease. So they doctored the video to lie to America. NBC News has clearly shown that they haven't learned anything from the time they doctored George Zimmerman's 911 calls to make it sound like he was racist. They just can't allow themselves to report the news. They have to make the news, and this time they made it very badly. I'm Dr. Ted Noel. Thanks for watching.